The Telegraph Lifestyle, 27th of June 2025. I'd rather travel by horse or donkey than drive an electric car. Range anxiety and overall costs are among the reason why 83% of Telegraph readers polled would not buy an EV. 83% wouldn't buy. In fact, let me just show you. What about the ones that would buy? The ones that would buy. Let's consider them for a second. If we go here, if we go to Car Wow, fuel type, electric, and then we go to vehicle age lowest. LL25, Volkswagen ID7, th of June 2025, well, what, the 2nd of July, 100 miles. You can't say he's not giving it a chance, can you? Next one. Toyota BZ4X, 310 miles, 2025. We'll go on there. 19th of May 2025. He's had it 6 weeks. Kia EV9, 2025, 100 miles. 31st of March 2025. LR25, Volkswagen ID7, 101 miles, 27th of March 2025. I'd rather travel by horse. You see, those people would rather lose a fortune than drive around in an EV. They've been sold a dream and they've woke up in a nightmare. They've woke up in a nightmare where they bought that car, they realise it doesn't suit their needs. And it'll be down to charging, it won't be anything else. My Jaguar I-Pace used to charge it at work. From empty, it would take 39 hours to charge on a 3-pin plug. So if you've not got a fast charger, which we couldn't have a fast charger at the garage because the electrics wouldn't take it. And I can't have a fast charger here because I live in an apartment. So I had to make do with a 3-pin charger at work. Didn't suit my needs. I've made my Citroen Ami suit my needs. I go into town and I charge it. That's fine. But for ordinary running around, I have to have a petrol car because I can't afford to spend the time at the charger or go in and charge. Electric vehicles, EVs, are the most likely type of car to break down, according to a major survey of tens of thousands of drivers. So range anxiety, they're most likely to break down. I believe also they're the most likely not to be able to be fixed at the side of the road. The latest What Car Reliability Service found that 16.8% of EV owners reported a breakdown in the past 2 years, a higher rate than petrol, 10.7%, hybrid 14%, and diesel 15%. Car owners. Telegraph readers have long expressed scepticism about switching to electric cars, and according to an exclusive Telegraph poll, a striking 83% of more than 270,000. Now that's a survey. You see, Auto Trader, they did their survey where 10 EVs won awards out of 25 awards. Those was 225,000 surveyed. Only 20,000 of those were EV owners, and yet still 40% of the awards went to EVs. You know, you just wonder, don't you? Who are they surveying? A striking 83% of more than 270,000 respondents said they would not buy an EV. EVs are manifestly inferior For many like reader Glenn Ewan, buying an electric car is senseless. Mr. Ewan says if EVs were viable, they would have flooded the market by now. Well, they would, because, I mean, if they had flooded the market, the price would have gone up and not still be tanking, but there we go. The average driver will have very little use for one. Reader Nigel Curtis from Surrey argues that electric cars are manifestly inferior to the product they are trying to replace. I wouldn't agree with that. To be fair, I would just say that they don't suit people's needs. Among Mr. Curtis's chief concerns is the overall cost of owning an EV, which he says is materially higher than the equivalent ICE. They cost more to buy and depreciate at an eye-watering rate. He's right about that. Inconvenience is another major concern for Mr. Curtis. At a wedding he recently attended, guests with electric cars who were staying overnight had to compete for the 2 charge points in the hotel car park. He says many had long journeys the following day. I'm not kidding, they were setting alarms in the middle of the night for their 1-hour time slot at the charge point. It sounds like a joke, but it's the reality of living with an EV. Reader Philip Graham, 54, took the plunge and bought an EV. However, just 3 years later, he couldn't wait to get rid of it. 3 years is a fairly long time. That's about the average time somebody will own a car. So it didn't inconvenience him that much that he decided to lose a load of money. Mr. Graham, who lives in Barrie St Edmunds, West Suffolk, took advantage of the government's incentives to buy a small electric car. However, he sold his Honda E Advance when the repayment scheme came to an end and reverted back to a petrol car. In addition to the serious battery issues, which were particularly bad in cold winter months, Mr. Graham says the Honda E was exceptionally difficult to connect to the Honda app, which you need to control practically every aspect of the vehicle. They talk about range anxiety, but that car gave you that feeling in spades every time you got in it. When asked what it would take to buy another EV, Mr. Graham proclaims, if it was the last car in the world, I'd still rather travel by horse or donkey. In agreement, John Evans adds, I've never been so relieved to get rid of a vehicle as I was when I sold my Porsche Taycan EV. Yes, I'm not surprised. The problems are too many to list. I will never have another full EV. Because I'm not biased and I don't cherry pick, this looks like it's... let me just put one more thing in before I go on. They're going on about vehicles breaking down. They've never mentioned fire risk, have they? One of my followers, Richard Woodbine, has anyone got this message on a 2024 ID4? High volt battery, risk of fire, safely park and exit vehicle now. Contact emergency responders. You've seen these EVs go up, haven't you? Would you safely park and exit? or would you just bail out straight away? I know what I'd be thinking. Because when them EVs go up, there is no stopping them. There is no stopping them. And honestly, I put a clip in of I think it was a Hercules, firing chaff, flares off. That's what an EV looks like when it goes up. It looks like it's trying to evade missile lock from a car behind. Unbelievable. Anyway, petrol cars are yesterday's technology. Well, they're not. Despite the overwhelming majority of Telegraph readers who voted that they would never buy an electric car, a spirited few made the case for why it was a worthwhile investment. Those will be the same ones. You see, that's the other thing. With the EV people, I've seen it before, the Fully Charged show, they always try and spoil people's surveys. They always put something in. You know what to do. You write in. And they always, the trouble with EV owners, they always try to be smart, and they're just not. They just don't seem to have a sense of humour. So they try and put things, I regret not buying an EV earlier. You know, yawn. Stuart Hargreaves, 55, from Wakefield. And the funny thing is, the last time we did this, I quoted a name, and somebody emailed me to say he's something to do with an EV website. So, you know, they all do it. And as I say, it's the usual suspects. God, are they boring. Stuart Hargreaves, 55, from Wakefield, West Yorkshire, recently became an EV owner after weighing the pros and cons. He decided to buy a 2.5-year-old Hyundai Ioniq and hasn't looked back. Mr. Hargreaves shares, it is extremely efficient and easily averages 5+ miles per kilowatt hour. I am self-sufficient in charging my car and don't have any expensive and inconvenient visits to dirty petrol stations anymore. When was the last time he went to a petrol station? Likewise, an anonymous reader adds, the whole car industry is having to shift to a new paradigm. Internal combustion engines are yesterday's technology. Well, it's not having to shift to a whole new paradigm because of EVs, because they're so good that internal combustion engines aren't selling, because that's totally wrong. This month, internal combustion engine petrol cars are selling faster than EVs. Okay? That's the truth of the matter. And they're holding the price better. So, no, Mr. Anonymous, you are totally wrong. And now I don't know how to pronounce, I know how to pronounce Percy. While reader Percy Flage argues, the government should subsidise EV purchases and invest in the charging infrastructure. Well, you've seen Pod Point, they invested in the charging infrastructure. What happened to them? But why should they invest? Why? Colin and Sue Sturr, both in their 80s, are also proud EV owners. The pair bought a Kia e-Niro 5 years ago and have never had an issue with their car. We've driven it from our home in Bedfordshire to Scotland and have never had a problem finding a charge. On a day-to-day basis, we drive it, return home and recharge it overnight on cheap electricity. It is easy to fuel, easy to run and so quiet. Mr. Suter says he doesn't understand all the hate EVs get. Our car has never caught fire. Oh, well, that's good. And our battery has never run out. If you are scared of change or a slave to the oil and gasoline companies, that's your problem. But do please grow up. Let me just say, these people couldn't get out the front door because the car set fire. And it set fire a few yards from where their daughter was sleeping. Do you think they've grown up? Flames consume e-bike, e-scooter shop. Tesla Cybertruck sparks grass fire in Colorado, raising EV safety concerns. Grow up, mate. You know, grow up. So you've lost your Cybertruck. They again, in the interests of clarity, the scooter shop that went up, they said it was outdated wiring in the attic that caused the fire. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.